Well, hey fans, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Spoilers, and today we're talking spoilers for Prey. Now, I have been a big fan of the Predator franchise for many years, ever since the first one, and hearing that they were coming out with a new Predator movie called Prey, I was a little bit, standoffish at first. First, I didn't like that they didn't name it Predator whatever. They just named it Prey, which I'm like, why are they changing the name at this point in the franchise? In other countries, I have heard that it is called Predator Prey, which makes sense. But like I said, I have enjoyed this franchise since the beginning. I was a little standoffish at first, but then closer to release date, I became more interested in this film. I believe I gave it a decent 8.2 out of 10 over on the website. Head over there, check out my full review. And that means that I thought it was pretty decent in terms of a Predator film. It takes things back to basics, like in the first Predator movie, and you have the Comanche Native American characters. And like I said, if you really enjoy the Predator franchise, I think that you will enjoy this film. Overall, it is probably my fourth favorite Predator film, and I'll go over those now. My favorite Predator film is probably Predator, then Predator 2, then Alien vs. Predator, and then we will go Prey, then Predators, and then Aliens vs. Predator Requiem, and then The Predator at the very end, because that movie's just awful, and I just feel bad for Shane Black that he made it. But as you will notice, I did have the Alien vs. Predator films in there, because apparently in terms of canon, the Alien vs. Predator films are canon in the Predator universe, but they are not canon in the Alien universe. So just imagine that we have two different sets of xenomorphs. Some are in the Predator universe, some are in the Alien universe. They still have like that spear from Alien vs. Predator. It shows up in The Predator. Of course, you got the alien skull that appears in the Predator ship in Predator 2. So it's just a franchise that I hope continue to go. It is now owned by 20th Century Studios, which is owned by Disney, no longer Fox. And just going into the story, the things that are great, you have a female protagonist, which you kind of have a female protagonist in Alien vs. Predator, and kind of in Predators, there's a female protagonist, but she's surrounded by guys in that one. So I like that. I watched this film in the Comanche dub. I think that is the best way to watch it. It helps set you in that time period in the early 1700s, and you're watching a bunch of Native American characters, so I don't want to hear them speak modern day English in this film. And what I was going to do after watching the Comanche dub, I was going to watch it in English to see if there's anything I missed or whatever. But after just sitting on it, I was like, no, I don't want to. If I'm going to watch this movie, I'm going to watch the Comanche dub regardless. And personally, I feel like, okay, they shot the movie in English and then the actors came back and did the Comanche dub. They should have shot this movie in Comanche and then had the actors come back and do an English dub. That's just what I think. So if it gets a sequel, I think that's what it should do. People are becoming more and more comfortable reading subtitles and watching foreign films, even though this is not a foreign film. But people are getting more comfortable with that. A lot of kids grew up watching anime. They know what the deal is. So yeah, let's just do that moving forward. The main character, Naru, she is a young Comanche gatherer. Her brother's a well-known hunter in the tribe. I think their father has passed away and they just live with their mother. But she is really good with the tomahawk. She wants to prove herself as a hunter to her brother and her tribe. So one morning while out gathering herbs, she sees a tree and she's like, I'm going to go practice on my tomahawk throwing skills. And she does it, and this is a great scene for me personally. I don't know if anybody else caught this, but every time she throws her tomahawk and it hits the tree, the echoes through the woods sound like the predator sounds that they make when they snarl or whatever. I can't do it with my voice, but that's what it sounds like, and that is great sound editing. So you never know, like if you notice that, like I did, and you watch the rest of the film, you never know if it's a predator lurking around or if there are other Comanche throwing axes around. So it feels like she's always in danger, so to speak. But doing this, she goes with her dog and she's like, all right, we're going to hunt this deer. They see a deer, they're going to hunt it. The dog gets caught in a bear trap, which you later find out was set by the French fur traders. And of course, the deer gets away. But she frees her dog. She admires the trap. She tries to figure out a way if she can take it, because they do put a lot of effort to let you know that Naru is really smart. Yes, she's a gatherer. Yes, she's a good hunter, but she's also very intelligent compared to the rest of her tribe. She knows how to trap things. She knows how to set plans, where the rest of them are kind of like, and I'm just speaking mainly of the hunters. They are big, strong guys, and they know how to hunt. But like even her mother mentions that how smart she is when she is eyeballing. They're making like this healing herb, and she's like, "You're missing orange flowers there." And she's like, "How did you know that?" Like she's not only a great hunter, she is a great healer. And that's why people are like, just focus on what you're good at, because you are really good at healing and gathering herbs and doing all this other stuff. So like all around, Naru is just like a beast. She can do it all basically, and she wants to prove that I can do it all. But like I said, she gets her dog out. She hears thunder, and she heard this thunder earlier. She's like, "Is there a storm coming?" She goes over to the cliffs to see if there's a storm coming, and then she sees like fire and electricity emanating from the clouds. And we, as the viewers, know, all right, this is the predator ship coming into the atmosphere. But her, as a Comanche, she believes it is a great Thunderbird, and she sees this as a sign, like, yes, I'm now ready to prove myself as a hunter. And so later, she sneaks out with the guys to take part in a hunt. They are hunting this mountain lion that took a member of their tribe earlier. So they find the tribe guy, and when they find out she's tagging along, they let her come along, because they're like, she's a great healer. When we find the guy, she can help heal him, and we can take him back to camp. So of course they find him, take him back to camp. She's like, this isn't right. He's still alive. Like something came and scared the mountain lion away. They kind of ignore her. And like I said, she's smart. She's like, this isn't normal. And so there's also scenes. So the predator's around. And so this is where the predator-prey aspect comes in. They do this like multiple times throughout the film. You have a bug crawling around, and it's like an ant, I think, and it crawls on the predator. The predator has this invisibility cloak on, and so the bug crawls up, but then like this mouse comes, eats the bug. So the bug was prey, the mouse was the predator. And then a snake comes out of nowhere. Bam! Snake eats the mouse. The mouse became the prey. The snake was the predator. And then of course the predator kills the snake and pulls out the spine and takes the skull. Starts collecting these trophies. So Naru notices, like, that's a skinned snake in a tree. Like, what's up with this? Guys, this is out of order. But the mountain lion comes back. They're trying to hunt it and kill it. She formulates a plan to capture it, and she gets knocked out. Taken back to camp. Her brother ends up killing it. And he lets her know. He's like, I don't think that you're ready for this kind of hunt. But she still wants to do it, so she goes out on her own. And she's going to hunt this bigger creature that she knows is out there, which is the predator. And we get a little more, not info about this predator. We do see that he doesn't really use all the advanced weapons that the predators we see use in Predator 1 and 2. He has some, but he has like these laser guided arrows that are pretty cool. He has his invisibility cloak. He has his claws. And he also has these little like spinning spike blade discs that he shoots out at one point. But he doesn't have, at least we don't see him use like the little nuclear bomb to kill himself or any of that stuff. And his helmet is a lot more primitive as well. It's like an animal skull. There's clearly technology in it because he still has like the heat vision and all that, and the thing that records like voices. But I like that look. And his dreads are like a lot thinner. And the thing about this predator is he seems to be mainly about hunting game. He's out hunting wolves and bears and stuff like that. And later does he find himself going up against the humans. So as she's out looking for this predator, she ends up getting chased by a bear. And then the predator comes and kills the bear. And as he kills the bear, and you can tell like he's getting damaged. He's like having a good old time fighting these monsters. But he of course comes out on top because he's a superb hunter. He like puts the bear up over his head. And it is a moment similar to like a Predator comic book, I believe, is where they got that from. So that's like a nice nod to fans who knew that. I had never read the comic book. I only saw it online afterwards. But like she is escaping, and she runs into the group because they went out to find her. And they capture her. They're going to force her to go back to camp. She gets to a fight with one of them. And then she's like, guys, there's like a monster out here, a demon of some sort. So Of course, the predator shows up, and all these guys have weapons, and he just straight up slaughters them. He slaughters all the guys she's with. Now, the one thing I don't like about the way he kills them, some of the kills you can see, other kills kind of happen off screen. And I'm not exactly sure whether this film was rated R or PG-13, but it looks like they are trying to go for like a PG-13 type of movie. I'll have to go back and check, but with Disney owning it, that definitely makes sense that they try to go for a PG-13. So I just checked, and it looks like it actually is rated R, which is strange. They could definitely get away with a PG-13 if they had put this in theaters, because there's gore, but not enough that it needs to be rated R. But Predator doesn't attack her. She like runs away. The Predator, it tries to attack her. She gets caught in one of those French bear traps, and it sees that she like is defenseless, basically. And he also admires the trap. He's like, what is this? And then people come, and he dips. So the French people come, and they capture her. So this actually leads me back to earlier. This film actually has a great history lesson, because one of the first things I learned in history in high school was that when the fur traders came over to America, they basically hunt the buffalo to near extinction. That's why we have so few buffalo today. They would hunt them, skin them for their pelts, and they would leave all that meat there. They didn't care about the buffalo. And the Native Americans would see this, and they would be like super upset. They're like, dude, you're wasting all this good meat. As everybody knows, Native Americans, when they hunted, they would use as much of the animal as they could. They are not a wasteful people, and we should all be more like that. So she gets captured by them. She realizes, oh, you guys are the ones who killed the buffalo, and they have her brother. So they also have come into contact with this predator. They like, there's a demon out there. We know there's a demon. They have this, I think he's a Native American guy, but he speaks French, so he tries to translate for them. And he says, look, we need your help. And they refuse. So they cut her brother to get her help. She still refuses. So they decide to use them as bait. And that's where you get this awesome scene of like this burnt down forest where the predator shows up and just starts slaughtering all these French people. And it's like smoky and misty. It's early morning. There's like not really leaves on the trees. They're all just like these wooden pikes sticking out of the ground, and he's just taking them out. And it's funny because we've seen the predator fight multiple guys in other films, but they have these old guns that you have to, once you shoot, you have to put the gunpowder in and all this stuff to shoot again. So it's funny just to see him take them out, but they do a little damage. He's not bulletproof. We've seen predators get killed before, so he does get injured, but he does come out on top. Naru and her brother escape. They go back to camp. The one guy who translates also makes it back to camp. His leg's been cut off, and he asks her, he's like, I know you're a healer, heal me and I'll give you this gun or whatever. So she agrees, and this is where, and they kind of mentioned this earlier, because every time somebody takes like the orange flower, when you eat so much of it, people are like, oh, I'm cold, why am I so cold? And the thing about it, it's a medical flower or a medicinal flower that will cool your body temperature so you don't get a fever, and if you get a fever, you run the risk of dying from that. So by taking this, it lowers the body temperature. The predator doesn't see you. And with her smart brain, of course, Naru notices that when that guy dies. But the gun that he gives her is the same gun that the Predator Elder gave Lieutenant Harrigan, played by Danny Glover, in Predator 2. So, we now have the origin of this gun. The Comanche-speaking French trader gives it to Naru. Naru has the gun. So eventually that gun goes from Naru back to the Predators for them to give it to Lieutenant Harrigan. So I think if we get a sequel, Naru is not long for this world. She's going to die. And they say, yes, she could team up with the Predator, and then she gives it to the Predator. I actually have a storyline and a title for a sequel where this could work better and how the Predators get that gun back. I think it would be good. I should actually work on that. Or there could be multiple guns with that inscription on it from those French traders, because as we see at the end of the film, more predators do show up to do some hunting. But basically, her brother gets killed when the predator attacks. Naru decides, look, I know how this thing functions. I'm a great hunter. I'm smart. I'm going to kill this thing. So she captures one of the French hunters that survived, cuts off his leg, bro. That's something. He wakes up and he's like, ah. So she cuts off his leg, and she leaves him there screaming near his gun, knowing if he goes for his gun when the predator comes, is going to attack them. So Naru basically tells them about how nobody sees her as a threat. Like, even the people in her tribe, these French traders, the Predator, they don't see her as a threat. And that's their biggest problem, because they won't see her killing them. Like, is a really badass line. This girl, she's just as good as Dutch, in my opinion. That is pretty cool. Amber Midthunder. Amber Midthunder is a future... No, she's a star now, and I hope her career is long and fruitful, because I really enjoyed her in this film. She's a badass with a badass name, like I said on Twitter. Like, Amber Midthunder is her name, Amber Midthunder. Dakota Beavers is great. Dakota Beavers, he plays her brother Taabe. He's a badass too. He looks like a young Nightwolf. I don't remember if Nightwolf wasn't in the Mortal Kombat film. Dakota Beavers should play him in the upcoming Mortal Kombat sequel if they make that thing. So Naru, basically, she takes the orange stuff herself that lowers the blood temperature when the Predator comes and kills the Frenchman. She shoots it in the back of the head and then, like, basically leads it to this trap where she got caught in, like, some deep mud earlier in the movie. And she gets the helmet off. No, she steals the helmet, knowing that the laser targeting system is in there and knowing that the Predator's going to try to kill her with his arrows. So she makes it so that he kills himself with the arrows, and that's how she beats it. And she puts his blood on her face as the tribal markings, beheads him, and takes it back to her people. And that's basically the movie. So, like I said, thoroughly enjoyed it. Fourth favorite Predator film. I like that you had the option to watch it in Comanche. I like that it wasn't set in modern day, and I think we should basically do that with some more Predator films for a little bit. Just drop the Predator in a time period. Like, have them go against the Spartans, have them go against the samurai in feudal Japan, stuff of that nature. And then we can work on, tying this universe back together in the future more. But let's have some of these smaller stories. Leave it in theaters, though. I think this would have did well in theaters. It's fine dropping the budget and having a smaller story, but put it in film. You will definitely make your money back. I promise you that. So there are some people online who are saying they feel like Naru is a Mary Sue, and that she only won basically because she's a girl and the writers wanted her to win. First of all, with any story, yes, the character wins because the writer wants them to win. It's a fictional story. That's how it's done. But I wouldn't go as far as saying she's a Mary Sue. Rey from the new Star Wars trilogy, she was a Mary Sue. She was just ridiculously strong. Nothing really went wrong for her. Things go wrong for Naru. She gets caught in that one bear trap. She gets knocked out by that mountain lion. Like, a lot of things go wrong for her before they go right. Her brother had to save her multiple times, and she uses her intelligence to get her way out. It's just not that she's naturally better than everybody. She works at it, and she tries. So I think that's what makes her a better written character than Rey was. And that's nothing against Daisy Ridley. I love Daisy Ridley. I love Rey. I really like that character. I want to see her come back with better writing. But yes, Naru, I think, is just a well-done character for the Predator franchise. And she is basically like a young Comanche female version of Dutch without all the muscles. So we will see if this gets a sequel. There's early talks swirling around already that this film will get a sequel with Amber Midthunder coming back. I don't think that's necessary that we actually just still follow her. I think we should follow the gun, whether it's a descendant of hers or whatever. I think that would make for a good sequel. I mean, I guess we would have to stick with the Comanche if we are to be with one of her descendants, at least for a little bit. But that will do it for me, guys. You can watch this video and read the full review over on the website, flipfrogllc.com/flixfrog. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. And please, everybody, hey, please, come here. Come do this one thing for me. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Yes, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Facebook page, the website, anything and everything Flixfrog, Flipfrog Books. Hit that thumbs up button, like, and follow. I got a lot of good stuff coming for you guys. Trust me, I just need you to up my followers. That's really what I'm asking here. Just up my followers up from what it is. I think it's currently at 53. I need more, guys. My next Let's Talk Spoilers, I think it's going to be She-Hulk. I don't know if anything comes out between now and then, but yeah, She-Hulk looks like it's going to be an interesting one for the MCU, a 30-minute lawyer procedural comedy. So we'll see how it goes with all the cameos. I think this is where they're going to dump in like pretty much all the random comic superheroes into this universe. So I'll get that out for you guys. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.